All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Barbell Life Show. We've been in hiatus for a long time. Had to work on a couple things behind the scenes, but we're back. And no better way to do it than come back with a great guest. And that's what we have today. Today's guest, before I go ahead and introduce him, let me go ahead and share a video. I think that would do more justice. So give me 2 seconds. And I will show you our guest. Here we go. All right, so without further ado, got a proper introduction. Today's guest on the Barbell Life Show is Mr. No Excuses, Hasan Banks. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited. Thank you for having me. It should be I'm in life. Really, definitely please for you guys being a part of my journey. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, man. Pleasure is all ours. It's an honor having you on the show. All right, so we'll start off. I actually ran into you in the Barbell Life community in the group. I believe I saw you post some videos, and needless to say, they're just really inspirational, motivational. Like the video we just saw, you see something like that, and you can't help but be motivated. Your nickname is Mr. No Excuses. Which, let me ask you real quick, how'd you come up with that nickname?
It really derived from my situation, my thought process of trying to overcome my situation and really having, the faith to believe in my journey and what I'm trying to do in life. So I named, Mr. No Excuses. I thought it suited me, given really just my outlook on life and my goals and my determination.
Well, it's perfect, man, because when I see a video like that, we all have our excuses. We all want to procrastinate. It's in our nature to, slack off from time to time. But, I see something like that, and there's no excuses. I got to get my ass up and go hit that gym or, do what I got to do. So I saw your video in the group, and it was a must to get you on the show. So it's really a pleasure to have you here. And go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. It's really, I try my best to, it's not about, oh, look at me, I'm in the gym, if I could do it, you could do it. It's really trying to get across or trying to put out in, a message that people can gravitate to and look at it to see that it's bigger than just getting in the gym. Mm-hmm. Anything you want in life, it's not going to be given to you. So with that being said, why allow any fear or doubt to compromise what you want in life? What I mean by that is, if you have a goal in life, achieve it. Do whatever you have to. It's not about, oh, get your butt in the gym and do it. I just think any aspect of life, I think it can actually touch many facets of life. Because if you didn't get a job today, what are you gonna do? Get depressed and beat yourself up, or you gonna get up, hit the help wanted ads and find a new opportunity. It's just about growing and striving to be better. And that's the main thing I want people to hopefully get, is just strive to be better and don't make any excuses.
Yeah, I love it because you're right. It's not just about the gym. I'm sure a lot of people use it in that sense, that context, but you're right. You can use that in anything in your life. You know, your relationship, job, whatever hurdle or obstacles in front of you. So I definitely feel where you're coming from there, man, and I really appreciate those wise words. Speaking of which, so let me just share something with you real quick. Since we're on the topic, I made a post in the group before we started the podcast, and one of our fellow Barbell Life brothers, Dale Talkington, said, "Thank you, brother. I'm going to get off my ass. Fuck the excuses. Keep up the great work. God bless." And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, people see what you're doing, and they have no excuses. There's nothing they can say that makes it legitimate anymore. So just know that what you're doing is making a big difference, however big or small. And I notice when you're in the group and you make your posts, there's always a ton of love from our members. Always. They come out in droves to show support. So it's an honor to have you in our community. And I look forward to seeing more from you and doing more. But let's take it back. Let's go back, way back to when you were first starting out in life. You know, you're a young kid. When did you get into being physical? Were you into sports, anything like that growing up?
Yeah, well, when I was younger, I lived in New York, and when I was younger, I really played, basketball and football. That was my love. Like when I was, growing up, I grew up in Harlem, and my father lived in Queens. So I did a couple of tournaments in like the Left Rack City playing basketball, and also across the boroughs and also Harlem. I was always very competitive when I was younger. So my dad was pretty good at basketball when he was older. So I got to run in, different, tournaments, as you could say. But only one thing I regret is never running in the record tournament in Uptown Harlem.
So you were that good, huh? That you could mess around?
I was pretty good when I was younger. I would say I was pretty good. I just didn't have the proper mindset.
Now, I wish I had some footage of that. I used to ball before my ACL surgery, so basketball is definitely a fun sport, but it's not for everybody. It's a lot of work and a lot of, like you said, the mental side. It's not for the weak-minded, because you'll get easily discouraged, or the ones that seem to be the best are the ones who are out there shooting free throws and constantly on that court, perfecting their game. So I think some of your basketball probably translated into your lifting life. But so you played football, you played basketball. Were there any other sports you played, or?
When I was younger, in my early teens, I tried I love wrestling, some soccer. I actually tried lacrosse for like one practice, then it wasn't for me. But I tried honestly everything just to, see what I like to do. That was one thing about me. when I was younger, I always had an open mind towards everything and trying everything.
I feel you. So when did you first start lifting weights? Like, did you ever go to the weight room as a kid? Anything like that?
No, actually, and I remember it, October 29th, 2001 is the first time I ever set foot in the gym.
You remember the exact day down?
Yeah, I remember it because I was coming home from college on my birthday, and my best friend Sean took me to LA Fitness in Yonkers, New York, and we went there for half an hour, and actually that it was on and popping since then.
So you never stopped then. You never stopped lifting weights after that, huh?
I was lifting weights, but it wasn't really serious.
Yeah, I feel you.
I was you have to also know this. When I was younger, I was really into the hip hop club scene. So I loved always, like, if you went to a club with me, within 20 minutes my shirt was off. A lie. I was like, I love to stun. That was me because I was in sales, and I was blessed to be in a very good position in regards to money. But when you make decent money and you live in New York, there is a lot of temptations.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. It's funny you say that because I was the same way, man. I started working out, I started lifting, but it wasn't serious. It was just kind of like something I did, and I just made myself do. There was no passion behind it. It was just like I gotta lift, so I just went to the gym. Had no real direction, anything like that. I was really, I was just like you. I was heavy in the club scene, partying. So I think that's a big part of why I wasn't serious. But same thing, man. I'd be in the club, I start drinking. Next thing you know, that shirt comes off.
That shirt comes right off.
Like PD Pablo, swinging like a helicopter.
Yeah.
That's too funny. So, okay, so you started pretty young lifting weights. Now, when did you transition from just kind of casually lifting and here and there to you took it more serious and you went from how they say working out to actually training?
Well, I'll tell you like this about a year or two after I got diagnosed in 2009, that's when everything got serious to a point where, like, right now, I don't work. So the gym is my life. Like, people go out and chill with their friends. That's cool. But me, I'd rather go work out. Like, that's my second home.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what shows that it's a passion. It's not just something casual,
It's bigger than that for me because I think a vast majority of people go for the physical, accomplishments at the game there, but I like that balance I get mentally and physically feeling in a very good place.
It's definitely a sanctuary for us. I got buddies that say, oh, I want to get like you, or I want to get cut, or I want to get down this much weight, or add muscle, or get my deadlift up, or whatever. And it's like, okay, I can help you do that. But then it's like when Saturday morning comes around and I'm getting up, getting ready for the gym, and getting some pre-workout, and it's bright and early, and I hit my buddies up and they're in bed hungover because they went to the club the night before. It's like, okay, well, you're showing me that, you know, you're not serious about this. You know, if you were, you'd be here ready to go and put in that work. So I feel you. So you started getting real into it. Now, how did you go from, you know, making the gym life your passion? What was the next step in that process to where you're like, you know what, I wanna get into bodybuilding?
Well, and I'll give you a short story. In 2009, I was diagnosed with ataxia, what I have right now. Now, you might know, but my ataxia is a neurological disorder that is basically eating away at your cerebellum. Your cerebellum is in control of your motor skills. So I have issues walking, balance, coordination, speed, vision, and there's no cure for it. It's progressive and degenerative. What happened was when I was diagnosed, number one, what's very important to know, doctors knew very little about ataxia. It's a rare disorder. So I spent maybe 2 years very depressed. I was in a very bad state mentally because I wasn't getting answers. No one knew anything about my disorder. And, you know, thank God, because I had saw a video of Robbie Robinson, who is an old school bodybuilder. I saw a video of him. Then I started getting online and watching videos of people like Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, just different people. The point I'm making is I started thinking about bodybuilding and all the time that I had spent working out. And I was thinking about how it made me feel. And I started, you know, doing a little research. I said, you know what? A lot of, you know, doctors told me I end up in a wheelchair within, you know, the next couple of years, and I lose a lot of muscle, and I would basically have a horrible way of living. So my goal was to find something to help me through the process. So I got into increasing my health and fitness. Now, what happened was I had always been in love with the sport, but then I started to actually research into the actual sport of bodybuilding to see what it took. And I started to look at that. I thought that could be a huge benefit for me. You know, they're trying to fight my situation.
Almost like trying to slow it down or counteract it, right?
That's basically what it was. I knew I, in my mind, I couldn't fix it, but my goal was to kind of slow it down. Hopefully, you know, at some point they come out with a cure.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the good thing about it is I had always had a love for bodybuilding. I'd always wanted to do it. And, you know, after research and everything, it just made sense. So I did, you know, everything worked out. In 2012, I did my first show at the Southern States in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in
Now,
place.
this was after you found out about your disease, right?
Yep, yes, sir.
So you
Was That was about 3 years later.
So you hadn't competed till after you were diagnosed.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay. So tell me about this first show.
The first show, I was nervous, but I wasn't scared because a lot of people who were with me backstage, I didn't have a coach or anything, but it was kind of nerve wracking, not gonna lie, because you gotta realize, like, that was the first show I ever did. I came in as a bantamweight. The thing is, I'm only about 5'6", and the guys I were competing with were like 5 foot and 5'2". These guys were huge. So I mean, but the
What?
end of the day, I was just happy that I finally got on stage and wasn't nerve wrack. I was trying to do bodybuilding at that time. My first show in 2012 was in bodybuilding. I was the bodybuilder.
Okay, so you went from bantamweight. That was the bodybuilding, though, right? It wasn't. It wasn't a physique.
No, in 2012, that my first show was in body. That's what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be a bodybuilder, but the problem was, unfortunately, with my situation, I couldn't do a lot of the mandatory posing. So,
And you
and
said you were going up against big dudes, like huge guys, right?
exactly. And when they came out with physique, I think God answered my prayers because it was probably awesome for me.
Now, what? How did you do your first show as a bodybuilder?
As a bodybuilder, I placed like 4 out of 5. I was like, I mean, like I said, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I wasn't even, I didn't tan. I mean, nothing. I mean, my diet wasn't on point. I was nowhere. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because when it's all said and done, I had a goal. And a judge will never take away the joy I have of doing something I wanted to do.
Yeah, it was. No matter how you did, it was basically still a learning experience. Yeah.
Like, and that's every show. It's an opportunity to learn and grow both mentally and physically. That's why I love bodybuilding because it gives you an opportunity for me, to help myself and help others. That's a great thing.
Now, what after that first show? What did you take away from that? I mean, you said you didn't place or anything like that, but what did you take away from that helped you moving forward?
I don't, okay. True story. Um, I think it didn't help because yes, like I realized I was in a very bad place at that point in time. Um, Around 2012 when I competed, I had actually got married and had a son. His name is Dennis. And the problem is that I developed uh, an, a mindset, I think, that was very negative. I mean, I felt like I was running into that proverbial wall every day. I mean, I was blaming everyone for what was wrong with me. I was very angry, and I didn't react well. In a lot of cases, I wasn't, and I was just, it was nothing wrong with me physically. It was all mental. It was nothing to do with like I was on a bunch of drugs. No, it was just mentally I was in a bad place because what I don't talk much about is that it's very hard to grasp when doctors pretty much give you a death warrant when they basically tell you you're gonna die. They don't give you a time frame, and you're searching for answers, and no one knows what you're talking about a majority of the time. So, I was in a very bad place. I wound up getting divorced, you know what I mean? And I got into a rut where I almost committed suicide.
Understandable.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just a very hard time because, again, I'm not saying, oh, woe was me, feel sorry for me. You asked me a question. I'm just trying to explain to you. But, ultimately, I can look at it now as a part of life because I really believe now, like, I've gone through some very, tough times in my life. And I think I really believe that they have given me the strength to keep pushing forward and put life into perspective. I'm sorry, but to go back to what you asked, what I got from that was really not to worry about what others think about me. And what I mean by that is regarding the judges and everyone else, because I started to kind of understand that I'm my biggest competition.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need, like, I was still working at that. It wasn't like I had it. That was the thought process. Because remember, that was my first show back in 2012. So I'm grateful because I think that allowed me to be the person I am right now.
Now, so that was part of your growth then, basically doing that show. It was a stepping stone to where you ultimately were going to be.
Yeah.
I try to tell people, and you kind of touched on this a little bit. Every experience, bad or good, in the end of the day, turns out to be something good. Because some of the worst experiences in your life, I mean, you mentioned depression and almost committing suicide, that helped push you to get to the point you're at now. So sometimes you have to be in the darkest places in your life to be able to see or appreciate the light, if that makes sense. Like,
You're 100% right.
exactly. And you can look back on those things and see the good or the silver lining, as they say. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. I mean, I know that's not something that's easy to talk about. But the depression and contemplating suicide, like those are serious things. And a lot of people, they feel ashamed talking about it. They feel like maybe they're weak or whatever. But I mean, I think in life, most people come to a point where they deal with that. I mean, I was there one time, so it takes a lot to share something like that, and I really do appreciate you sharing that with us and the audience. Now, let me rewind real quick. So, when you found out about your condition, what were like some, like, how did you go from, you know, how you were before to how you are now? Like, did you start to notice certain things happening? Or like, what were some signs that started showing up?
Okay, well, just so you know, since I was, I think, around 12, I had always been playing basketball. Like, if there was a basketball court somewhere, I was playing. Around 2005, 4, I had to go to the doctor because I noticed I wasn't able to jump anymore. Like, believe it if you want to or not, but I could actually dunk a tennis ball. So around 2004, 2005, I noticed I had problems jumping. I wasn't able to jump. And I had always been good on defense. Like, I was very quick. I noticed I was having problems, and doctors thought I was clumsy. That's what they could tell me. They didn't know anything.
Hold on. That was the diagnosis, is you're clumsy?
Yeah, around, you gotta realize now, this is 2004, 5. They're
Uh-huh.
telling me I'm clumsy. I'm like, really? And like, I don't have anything to show them because remember, around that time, we didn't really have cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people
That's
don't
all I
realize
do remember that.
we had no cell phone.
You had payphones and a house phone that was in one room.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? Like, real talk, I'm like, really? I'm not clumsy. I am good, but whatever. You know what I mean? It was just like, it is what it is. And
You said that when they finally figured out what the problem was, there wasn't a lot of information about that at the time.
no, not at all.
So
A-
that's probably
Ataxia, well, I don't know how much you know about it. Ataxia is a rare disorder. Ataxia, think of cancer, right?
uh,
Cancer has different forms, right? The same thing with ataxia. Ataxia is the main disorder. The the kind of ataxia that I have is called spinocerebellar ataxia type 7. Now, there are currently, when I last looked, 51 different types
oh, wow.
of SCA7.
So you just have a certain unique one that probably doesn't have a lot of research behind
Yeah, well, this it's been about 3 years. I don't go to the doctors because the truth is, I know more than the doctors most times than they know about my disorder.
it. Now, is there that's crazy because you probably do more research and look into it yourself, right? That's what you're saying?
I've done a ton of research, and that's why I don't go to the doctors because they think they're helping you, but they're really not.
But
And
don't start on that, brother. We could talk about that all day. The
yeah,
men.
that's a whole nother
Yeah.
topic. But I'll say right now, I mean, through Titan Medical, one of my sponsors, I get my blood work, so I'm always good. I mean, I don't do anything crazy health wise, but I mean, I don't go to the doctors because that's a whole downside of life I don't want to have to deal with right now because what I try to do is always stay positive. Like, I write a lot of posts, on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, trying to be positive because I think being negative is a waste of energy. It doesn't help you to move forward. And I'm all about, being better, a better version of me, because I've been down that path I never want to go again.
I feel you. I feel you. So when you were going through this, did you have a support system? Did you have people that had your back, or were you kind of going through this alone? Like what kind of help did you have along the way? Because this is, I mean, it's a big, huge deal. I can imagine trying to go alone on something like this.
All right, let's be real. Like real talk, what helped me, and people could believe it or not, but what helped me get the strength to deal with it, the way I do, my faith.
Yeah.
My faith. I mean, listen, I have never and I will never try to push my beliefs on anyone. But like I said, for me, what has helped me to get the strength to do it, what I have to do on a daily is having faith to believe, and also understanding that everything happens for a reason. I believe that I have ataxia, like this is God's purpose for me, and He has given me a platform to try to help other people. Like that's the best part of life for me. I believe, like I love helping people. Like when I get messages, through social media, my email, whatever, and people, tell me how I've impacted their life. Like when I go to my events and I talk to people, it's like the greatest thing for me because they help me more than they know.
Yeah, I can see that because they're just adding fuel to your flame. You're trying to do something, and they're giving you that reaffirmation that you're on the right track and you're doing what you're setting out to do. So if you guys are listening, keep that in mind. Just telling somebody, they're helping you, or letting them know that what they're doing is making a difference and impact can go a long way. Um, Now, you after your first bodybuilding competition, I know you said you had a couple lulls. You were kind of going through some personal things. Now, tell me about when you decided to get back in there, and you said you jumped into the physique category. Um, Tell me about that time frame in your life. Like, you basically made a comeback.
Yeah, wow. I well, the quick story is that I was going through a very low point um in life, dealing with things.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a nasty divorce. I was mentally and physically weak. I wasn't accountable. I didn't love myself. And I think that was the biggest problem, is that I was so worried about pleasing other people, I wasn't focused on me. And what happened was I was working with a different coach at the time, and we were talking, and we were just talking about ways I could probably really not only be more competitive, but also get my message out in regards to trying to, raise awareness for ataxia. And, we discussed men's physique. Now you gotta understand, you have people who, have their, negative views about men's physique. First of all, I love men's physique. I don't care about anyone else. I work my legs out. Yes, I do. Don't get it twisted, right? I do men's physique and I work my legs. All right. I do men's physique because it is the way I am a bodybuilder in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Physique is just a category that works best for me. If I could, I do bodybuilding or I do classic physique, but I can't do the poses.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all I'm getting at is, and this is what I talked about. I was trying to talk about earlier. Is I'm living life on my terms and doing the best that I can. I'm not gonna sit back and harp about things I can't do. I found something, the fitness industry has blessed me with coming out with the physique division. So I use that. Really, it's my platform to show whether anyone out there following my journey. First of all, I love you all so much. But those who have followed me, I just want them to see that if they have a goal in life, truly nothing's impossible. Because I really believe if you don't have faith, have a belief in something, go after your goals. At the end of the day, all of us at some point are going to die. That's the way it is.
That's the law of life. Yeah.
Yeah, my own thing is that okay, when that time comes, my whole outlook is okay. Until that time comes, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna do everything I can do to obtain my goals, and nothing's going to derail me. So I'm not gonna let any fear or doubt place fear, or derail me from moving forward.
Yeah, and you also got naysayers and things like that that probably add to that, but clearly you haven't listened to any of that. Now you talk about goals. Um, you had a goal to compete on the Arnold stage, and that's something you actually did. Can you tell me a little bit about that, and then we'll jump into this past weekend where you went to Europa and did your thing. I'm gonna throw some pictures on while you talk.
Yeah, I would say that was I've had I'm very please no I'm so grateful to the fitness industry because it's allowed me to do a lot. But I mean the greatest thing because in 2014 when I decided to get back into computing again, I set a goal because I can't remember about 2 years ago. I think it was Dexter Jackson I saw on the Arnold stage. And I saw that and it just motivated me. And I said, that's what I want to do. And again, God willing, I did the Tampa Pro in August of 2014. I believe pretty well. I was able to qualify. So I did the Arnold. I mean, the best part of that was at the end of the day, I always say no one can take that away from me because that was a goal of mine and I achieved it. And to be on Arnold's stage, I don't care where I place it, it's just the fact I was there.
You were there, yeah. I mean, how many people can say that, you know?
You know what I mean? And again, I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me because I don't want you to. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, I'm living life on my terms and doing the best I can. I got on stage. I completed my goal. I was happy as hell. Sadly, I don't know, Tony, if you've ever been out there, but
Ohio.
it's cold in the winter. It was like negative, I think, 3 on the day I competed. I was back there freezing.
Now you're from New York, though. What you talking about?
But yeah, I've been in Florida since 2009. I've been in
So you adapted to the warm weather. Then that's what you said. Okay.
I need that warm weather. That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? But again, it was definitely, awesome time. I met a lot of cool people. Actually, I met Arnold, Dennis, Wolf.
Oh wow.
I let Victor Martinez, a lot of different pros. Diana could do a lot of different pros. And the craziest thing is that listen, they could be lying through their teeth, but they said they heard me, they knew me, or they knew of me. I was smiling ear to ear like a kid.
Man, I tell you what, this fitness community, it's big, but it's also small. Meaning, word travels fast, and inspirational story like yours, there's no question that these guys haven't heard of you. There's not a lot of people in your shoes that are doing this. So there's no surprise there. Right now I'm pulling up these pictures from this past weekend at Europa. You look on point, man. Shredded.
Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. This job right here was one of the greatest moments in my life. I would have to say that.
Now, why is that?
First of all, like, I had some things going on going into the show where my diet wasn't on point where it needed to be. I didn't feel like I was ready, but at the end of the day, I prayed on it and I said, you know what? I'm just going to give it my all. And I did. And the thing is, I when I got the trophy, like, first of all, the crowd went crazy. I started crying on stage.
Yeah.
At this show, I lost my man card like 5 times.
You try to get a pro card and you lose your man card in the process, huh?
Like, I meant so, like, I'm not trying to. I'm just throwing out a number, but I honestly think I spoke to about 30 different people and took pictures with people, and it was the best feeling having so many people from so many different backgrounds, women, men, children, come up to me, and like I had I can't remember their names. I'm sorry, but there was a couple that came in with their kid in a wheelchair, and they were crying and telling me, how I had motivated their son. Was talking about going to try to work out and all this stuff. Like, they were talking again. I think I got so caught up in the moment, I started crying. Like right there, just started crying. And what?
Something touches your heart, man. It's nothing to be, ashamed about. You're something touches deep in your heart, and those kind of feelings are gonna come out. That's something that's huge though. Someone to take their time to come out and talk to you and tell you that what you're doing isn't in vain and that you're having a huge positive impact on somebody else's life. Like that's deep.
Yeah, it just honestly it blows me away because when I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to communicate with a lot of different people through social media around the world. When I have all these different people from different countries contact me, it really overwhelms me with joy, and it gives me a confidence that I know I'm doing something right. I'm walking the righteous path to stay blessed. And you know what I mean? Sadly, I go through a lot. It is what it is. People don't know what I go through. I don't share with everyone because I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. But my life isn't easy. But at the end of the day, I do the best I can. You know what I mean? I know that I'll never be perfect, but I know one thing: I'm gonna always do the best I can do. You know what I mean? To the best of my ability. Anything I can do, I'll work around it and try to complete it. I really want to help people not to be complacent in life, because I've met a lot of people who let certain obstacles in life, hold them from moving forward in life. And I just think when you have the mindset to just not give up, everything will work out. I mean, nothing is perfect. Nothing in life is ever gonna be given to you. You know what I mean? I know, I hate when people mock me. Oh, I want to look like you. I don't want you to look like me. You just want to look better than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to be better. I don't want you to be like me. And that's why I talk to people. I thank these people so much for all their compliments. But don't be like me, be better than me. And that's what I put these videos up, because at the end of the day, you can always be better. Life is there for you to grab.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, for me, I lean on my faith to help me put life into proper perspective and not complain or bitter or be angry at things I can't control. That's why, I would talk about focus on what I can control. Because if I can't control it or fix it, it doesn't matter.
A lot of people don't understand that, and a lot of people let life hold them back and circumstances. But you know, you read all these gurus who write these books and things, and all these philosophers and all these great minds in history, and they're all essentially saying the same thing. Like, you dictate your life. You don't let life. Life isn't the director of your movie. You're the director of your movie, and you roll with the punches, and you don't take no for an answer, and you keep pushing. And I feel like this podcast right here, this episode in particular, is that's the highlight of what we've been saying. Like, no matter what life is throwing at you, no matter what's going on with your life, you can dictate what happens. You can make changes. You can be better. You can go out there and get what you want. It's not going to be easy by no means. And there's always going to be hurdles. There's always going to be, something trying to hold you back. But if you stay on that path and you stay motivated and determined, you're going to get what you want. Now, I would love to keep going. We got to wrap it up though. It's been a great episode, brother. This is definitely one of the most thought-provoking and inspirational interviews I've done.
Oh, I really wanted just to say that. I mean, I really appreciate it more than you know. It's just a good opportunity for me because I love talking to people about life and just about being better and things they're doing about being better, and the fact that you've taken time to, speak to me and help me and really be a part of my journey. I mean, no bank account can put a price on that. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful to you for everything, and I really appreciate it because you just put a big fully smile on my face. I'm about to do a backflip. I don't want to because I might hurt myself.
Well, I tell you what, man. All I'm providing is an outlet to get your voice out there. Everything else is on you, man. You're an amazing individual, and I really appreciate you sharing your story with us, and opening up about some of the things you did, and just putting that message out there. And I appreciate what you do as far as motivating people and inspiring people to be better and give them something to aim towards, and let people know that no matter what, I can do this. So what you do is honorable. Your story is amazing, and it's really been an honor to have you on the show. Now every guest that we have on the Barbell Life podcast, we end with this. We ask, well, real quick before we do this, real quick, do you want to get any plugs out? Any shout outs, any plugs to your sponsors, anything like that?
I wanted to give like the biggest bear hug in the world to all my family at Titan Medical Center here in Tampa. They've really helped me to be a better person mentally and physically. Thank you and love you all. My whole 5% team, Christiana, Jane, all you guys. Thank you for holding me down and making sure I keep it moving and keep pushing. And again, I want to donate. I thank all you guys for your support. It really allows me to wake up and look at life a little bit better every day. So I appreciate you so much, and thank you, sir, because I really appreciate it.
Well, the honor's mine, brother. Now, moving forward, I definitely want to do some things in the future. I can definitely see that happening. We plan on having some meet and greets and things like that, and I'd love to have you as like a guest speaker, something like that. And we'll talk more offline, but let's get these words of wisdom in. One thing that you could tell our listeners, what would it be? As it can do anything, just something about life, some kind of positive words of wisdom. Let's hear
it. I just always just believe you need to focus on what you can control. Love life and make no excuses.
I love it, man. Perfect. And on that note, thanks for being a guest on the show. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you need to get a hold of Hasan, you can comment on the comments here. You can hit him on his Facebook, his Instagram, Hasan Banks, Mr. No Excuses. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Have a blessed evening.
You too, brother. Now, as always, the Barbell Life show is brought to you by Barbell Nutrition. Right now, we got Thermite out, which is our thermogenic fat loss complex and pre-workout capsule, all natural. It's basically an alternative to powdered pre-workout, but it's also an amazing fat burner. Check out the website, www.barbellnutrition.com. There's a ton of amazing reviews. You can see for yourself. This product actually works. We use high quality ingredients natural plant-based ingredients. So check it out. And now we have Chain Reaction about to drop. This is an intra post-workout formula. It's like nothing on the market. It does a ton of amazing things. It's going to give you the BCAAs you need, help with protein synthesis, help with recovery, and even help you build more muscle. And this is, like I said, intra and post-workout. You put these two things together, you have the Barbell Performance Stack. Go ahead and message myself on the comments below. All the Barbell Lifers, you guys already know the discounts just for you. And get on the newsletter, and you can get those too. So again, show's brought to you by Barbell Nutrition, and it's been an honor. You guys have a good one. Until next time.